Welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk to someone who works at a company whose product you use every day and have been using for years. We're talking to Rahul Goradia who works at Microsoft. He has also worked with Meesho and Zomato. Please welcome him. This podcast now has a sponsor. But instead of पैसे, मैंने ली है तुम्हारे लिए खास 3 स्कॉलरशिप फ्रॉम 10K डिजाइनर्स इन देयर न्यू कोहर्ट. ठीक है, तो भाई तुम्हारे जब इतनी मेहनत करके आए तो तुम भी जाओ, सिंपल डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में फॉर्म है, उसको भर दो. वेलकम राहुल, वेलकम टू द पॉडकास्ट.
Hey Rahul, thank you so much. Again, Rahul, it's like I feel like our name is really
great name.
Yeah,
Great name.
I get it. But sometimes don't you feel
Great
like,
choice.
okay, I'm sure you might not feel that way. I feel like my parents didn't put any effort to pick my name. Like, it's a very common name, right?
I get
But
that.
it's like, yeah, I am comfortable with my name. It's just like, I wanted some very weird name, like something like Xavier or something. But nice to meet you. And
Change it. No, who's stopping you? Change it.
no, now it's like I like it as well, so I'm not going to change it. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
It's cool to talk
No,
to.
my pleasure. Yeah, I mean the name saga will go into it easily. Now that we're talking about name and your parents, I would love to know, like, if you would love to add anything into this intro, or if not, tell me where you are from, like what did you study, and how did you become a designer?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I think that the intro is apt for what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I think you know me. I think we both are Gucci bros. So like
Kemcho.
Kemcho. But to be honest, like my family's a bit weird. Like we are all Gucci's, but we're all from different parts of
Whose family is not?
yeah, I agree, but we're not from one place. Like my mom is Guju as well, but she's born and brought up in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. My dad is from Gwalior, MP. I was the only born in Ahmedabad. My grandmom was born and brought up in Hubli, Karnataka. My brother was born in the US,
second.
so it's very messed up.
Your dad is from MP Gwalior. Like, he's a Gujarati?
He's
Or,
Gujarati,
like,
but like family shifted. He was born there, brought up there. So it's like all of us have like very mixed cultural tastes, and the way we've been brought up is quite different from each other, which is nice, and which is sort of, it's very tough to decide what to have for Sunday dinner. It's like everybody has different wants, but yeah, that's a bit from
Dhokla,
where.
but ठीक है.
Yeah, then in the end, it deserves Dokla. I hate Dokla, by the way. Don't hate me. But yeah, so that's a bit about me and where I'm from. And so I did design. I discovered design. I think I've covered this before, but I didn't know what design was. I was going to do engineering, and throughout school, I would say till the 10th grade, I was fine. And then I don't know why, like, science is not supposed to be the way it is in 11th. Like from 10th to 11th, the way you perceive science is different. And when I got to 11th, I obviously didn't enjoy it. My grades were really, really poor, if I was being honest. Like my parents were generally very, very worried what I would be doing ahead. But yeah, I think engineering was the common path I saw my friends take. I saw everybody else take. So I thought that was the route I needed to go in. But luckily, my dad discovered a IIT CET exam for design. He said that's something you should try. And I was like, okay, like what is design first of all? And I was generally very good with creating or building things, whether it was artistically in school, or if it was like best out of waste competitions or something, some small competitions like that. But I would always sort of show my skills there. And then I sort of dug deep into design and, hey, like, this is something I'd enjoy, and I'd rather study something I enjoy for 4 years than something I don't. So I ended up going to design school for 4 years. And
which course this was?
Yeah.
IIT?
The IIT CET exam, but I ended up going to PES University in Bangalore because it was too late for me to apply by then. So yeah, but
Which course you did in PS?
yeah, it was a Bachelor of Design course where I studied interaction design for 4 years. It is the first design course of that college. It's a very well-known engineering college in Karnataka. It's like the top 1 or 2 engineering colleges, but they opened a design course, and I thought, yeah, I'll just study. I'd rather study from something I like that I don't. So yeah, it was amazing 4 years. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
But before we when we go into detail into your college experience and like,
Sure.
of course, this is the first time I'm meeting someone who has studied college like design. I have met NIT people, I have
Right.
met NIFT people, right? But when they study design, it's more of a mix of like design style. Like you develop what you want to do later in life, right? And this is very interesting to me. I'll come back to this. But before you get into this, how did you know that you like design? Right, because
Right.
till 10th you had engineering in mind, right? So what do you think made you feel, this looks fun and I want to get into this?
Yeah. So when I read about design, it was more on. Um, I sort of read a lot about Dieter Rams at that time and how he
Hmm.
perceived things to be different, which I sort of connected with. Like, I genuinely loved well-crafted products where sort of my friends would go for based on the price or based on what the number of features, but I have always had that knack of having something or generally if it was art, that's something which interested me, visual aesthetics or trying to solve a problem in general, right? So those things sort of attracted me, and I thought, hey, like I should sort of give this a shot. And then I read about interaction design, and there's a Netflix show called I could think called Abstract, where there's an episode of Ian
Yeah, there are
Spalter.
different episodes.
Yeah, there's an episode
Yeah.
of Ian Spalter on Instagram, the head of design on Instagram, and that really excited me. That was like so cool, like how they think of problems and stuff like that. So yeah,
If I'm not wrong, in that episode they talk about how they develop the whole logo also, right?
exactly. Yeah,
And
the number of iterations
yeah,
they
yeah.
took, and
Yeah, iterations.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
I don't. Yeah, I think it was an Asian guy, if I'm not wrong. I remember like an image in my mind. It's been
I
long
think
since I watched it.
he's of mixed race. I think he's black and of some Asian descent. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's very
Yeah, yeah, I
cool
gotta
of
check.
how he thought, um, how his mind space works and stuff. So that really intrigued me.
This was in which year?
This
This
was
abstract came.
2016, 17, I guess, midway through
Hmm.
college. So yeah, I think that's what really interested me, to be honest. And yeah, I got hooked the first day I went. Like, it was a lot of work, but uh, I feel like I genuinely connected with something I actually genuinely liked. I would say sort of studying, if you were to call it. But yeah,
This this is really interesting to me for two reasons. First, I'm a visual designer. Second, I'm self-taught designer, right?
right.
So my an advancement into this whole field was I want to do something and I can see it work, right?
Hmm.
But from your understanding, what I can understand, feel is that you love the problem solving side of things, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't want to call it, but I think it comes under the whole user experience side, right?
Yeah.
Where you focus on that, so you you might not even need to do visuals for that.
Right.
Right. So when you saw that Instagram wala pura episode on abstract, when you I'm gonna, as you said, that you studied about it, searched about it, right?
Yep.
Did you have in vision that you wanted to go with interaction design specifically, or design or visual design, anything, or
Yep.
you found this college so you just joined it? What was the process for that?
Yeah, to be honest, when I just joined, so the first year is a foundation year. You get to experience communication design, visual design, animation, gaming,
Hmm.
interaction, user experience design. But throughout that, I sort of understood myself. I am a people pleaser. I genuinely love uh, ensuring that people are having a good
Pleasing
time.
people.
Yeah, pleasing people. That's me. So it's just something I live by, and I feel like if I can help anybody make their day better by crafting such, and to what you said, I feel like even the visuals, I do spend a lot of time because I want it to be well crafted. I wanted to ensure that people enjoy using it or have some delight using it, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
that thing connected with me, and I feel like the medium through which I could do that was by solving problems and through ensuring that people use it in any digital experience they use right now. So that's why I took that stream. But I genuinely loved gaming as well. I loved graphic design as well. I love like so when I was small, right, in eighth grade, I was my first like if you when you ask right a kid what do you want to become when you're up, I wanted to be a YouTuber. I'm a YouTube geek, like from Yeah.
I think every kid at that era wanted to become a
Yeah.
YouTuber.
So when I used to have
Yeah,
those teenage moments with my mom and dad, right, I used to fight with them. No, engineer, I want to become a YouTuber. They earn millions. You don't know what they do. And I love the idea of filmmaking, telling stories as well. And that was my first dream job. And I thought if I couldn't pursue that, maybe it's a bit too late, or maybe I don't have the skill set for it. I'd probably express it to another medium, and that's what I think UX did it too.
design did
Yeah.
UX about too. Walk me through the journey of your college,
Yeah.
right? Because I feel those 4 years, like I've heard from many designers who were engineers, so
Yeah.
their story is very interesting in those 4 years.
Yeah.
I would love to know how a design college or design course 4 years looks like.
Yeah, yeah. So I think most people I met have generally done a master's for 2 years. So yeah, so these 4 years were actually pretty interesting. Like I was staying with engineering roommates, and they would come and they would study for exams, but I didn't have any exams. Like I had assignments, and it was a lot of hard work if I'm being honest. But I genuinely enjoyed it. Like just the first year, they sort of go through the history of design, how sort of Bauhaus came about, architecture. We said about architecture. So you start appreciating or seeing things very differently as soon as you get knowledge of these things, right? For example, colors. Why do brands use certain colors? Why do most food apps or food chains use the color red, right? It's not just because it's a nice color. It's because it induces an emotion of hungerness or something like that, right? So you start seeing everything from a different lens, and you start appreciating things you see in your daily life. I think more. So yeah, I think 4 years. So first year in design school is a common year, so you get to experience communication design with its graphic design. You build your visual skill set, interaction design, you do a bit of problem solving, design thinking, game design. So I actually also got to make my own board game. If you were to make a board game, and that were to be put on a shelf in a toy store, so we did everything from the packaging, how the box should slide in, like the iPhone boxes, right? How do you get that finish? How do you ensure that the board is neatly folded? So it's a lot of fun, I would say.
Like a real life product design. Like you're designing a product in real life, not
Yes,
on
exactly,
digital.
exactly. And we would even like I had made a space game. Maybe I can send you some photos, and maybe you could put it up. But
Definitely do.
yeah,
I'd
I
love to.
had 3D print, not I had laser cut like little mini rockets. It was a space game, so we had designed everything from the dice to the pawns you would use, the board. We had to go to a good printer where they would make foldable printing sheets. Like it's genuinely, I feel like genuine life skills you learn while going to design school. So that I feel like I had a really good time, and I had really good people surrounding me there. So yeah, it pushed me to be over here. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like my engineering guys would be studying, and I would be like, I'd have a very random assignments, right? So to ensure we get our hand-eye coordination correct, we would
Correct.
get an assignment of 30 pages. You just have to draw straight lines without a ruler. It has to be really straight. And I would stay up for hours, right? Because my lines would go everywhere. But then 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 week, and then slowly your hand and eye
Yeah, your hand
start syncing with each other. So
coordinating.
yeah, it's like I would say that's why I use studying. It's more of practicing and a lot of hands-on stuff, which happens in design school, which I quite enjoy. And that's the way I learn, I feel.
More more practical knowledge.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Theory is there, but practical also is there.
yeah,
So this happened for help me understand the structure of how did they teach this thing, right? Because I mean they would have some structure, like first year you learn this, second
yeah,
year you learn this, third year they would be giving something. Was the structure same like that?
yeah,
How was it different?
yeah. So I can tell you. So we sort of followed the IIT-B curriculum. That's the curriculum we followed. So your first year
Mm-hmm.
is your basic principles of design. You have form, you have function, colors, you have typography, you have so we had some subjects for history, studying architecture. We had introduction to materials as well. We had engineering drawing for some reason. But yeah, so that's the first year is basically building up a foundation for you as a designer in general. I think that's where sort of design school sort of helps. Like you get a good foundation of your solid basics, and then from the next year you can take your specialization. So I took interaction design. Now, interaction design also is a very big subset. You have VR, AR, you have user experience, user interface design, you have game design, you have HCI, sort of the same, but yeah, you have all these different subjects. And then again, you again streamline into your third year where they're focused on your thesis project. So you have a thesis project which you can pick on in any one of those areas and pick a problem and solve it. So yeah, third and fourth year is sort of your major project which you work on, and that's how it goes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
which, like, if I can ask, which product did you pick up? Like, you
Yeah, so
remember?
I worked on a sort of meditation insomnia app at the time. So I worked on a project
Mm-hmm.
to help people who are dealing with insomnia or anxiety. What are the ways you could solve that? So I sort of created a digital experience for those users to ensure they get good sleep. So that's what I had worked on. And I also worked on a pretty cool wildlife project. So through VR and AR, how could we ensure that children learn more at zoos? So we had built some cool stuff with while you
Oh,
scan,
interactive.
yeah, when you scan the signage, maybe a 3D animal comes out, talks to the children and stuff like that. So yeah, those are some things I worked on. That was pretty fun.
These problems are really fascinating to me, as like nowadays, if you see, right, they were talking about this in 16, 17, 18, 19, right, before COVID, when you were in college. And but if you look into the industry, they are now catching up to it, right? This is getting more mainstream right now.
Yeah.
So having like a college having these into a curriculum was really fascinating to me, because I've never, I think I've never seen this before. It's really interesting that, okay,
Yeah.
you have a structured way of, also, if you want to learn design, you don't have to just go to NID and FT. You can go to even more
Yep.
technical or more practical way, where you might not have to make clothes and all that, but
Yeah.
you can also get into the digital side of things.
Right.
Cool. So third year you did this, fourth year you worked on this product. So did it have the same internship model that you were going to find an internship, or what was that like?
So yeah, they had you can do an internship, but you also have to do your main project. So I sort of like, I wanted to work for sure. Like every summer I tried to do an internship when I was in college. Like first year,
Design internships.
yeah, design internship. Like the first year I did like a graphic design internship because that's what I knew at the time. I did videography and camera photography in my first internship. Then I did sort of UX internships at a couple of startups, very young startups, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. Um, one was Home Lane as well. So Home Lane, you guys might have heard of Home Lane, like Live Space competitor. So they sort of do interior
Oh,
design.
I'm not.
Yeah. So I worked at Home Lane for 3 months on my third year, and my fourth year is when I got the Zomato gig. Um, yeah, that's how I landed it.
So, okay, you did Homeland for second year internship, right? Then how did you get into Meesho and then Zomato and then now in Microsoft?
Yeah,
What was that story like? Or
yeah,
was my Zomato first?
yeah. Zomato was first. So Zomato, I actually did an internship there. Basically before I graduated, they sort of gave me an internship and they even gave me a job. So before I graduated, I was very lucky to sort of work there. Uh,
How did they find you?
yeah,
With
so
Mass Recruiter
on
Wala Funda? What is that?
so on LinkedIn, I think they had an opening, and yeah, I had applied, and then they got in touch with me, and yeah, so that's how it went. But yeah, I was at Zomato for almost 2 years, I would say, including my internship. So yeah, Zomato was very fun. Like I joined, and then after a month, or sort of after 3 months, COVID happened. So like
Hmm.
there was no business at all. There was nothing. It was very, very scary, to be honest. But yeah, we sort of worked on a lot of cool projects there, which ended up getting me a full-time role. And then yeah, that's how it went.
So on the fourth year, you knew that you want to work on UI UX because you already made your main project was to build an app
Yeah,
on that side. Then obviously you transitioned into product design with this role first year at Zomato. You did that for 2 years.
yeah,
And any product which we used, like you worked on, if,
yeah,
like
yeah. I think a
in the
lot of
actual
stuff
product.
you guys would have used. So in Zomato, like I mentioned, I can walk you through maybe some of the stuff I worked on. So when I joined, it was a very scary time. I was following COVID even before everybody knew. Okay, so like I told you, I'm a YouTube geek, right? So I randomly on my feed, there's a random professor came up and he's like, "There's a virus in China. It's really bad. It's gonna spread everywhere." And I would tell my friends every day, like, "Dude, trust me, there's something bad is gonna happen, like which no one knows is coming." And my friends would be like, "क्या क्या बोल रहा है पागल आदमी है वगैरह वगैरह ठीक है." And then COVID happened, and then so luckily I had flown back to Bangalore, so I luckily was at home. And then I think
Yeah,
by March 20th, like a whole of India was shut. There was no
correct.
business, obviously, because at that time everybody was scared to order food outside, right? Everybody was staying at home, so business was absolutely zero. Our riders were not earning any money. Restaurants were not earning any money, so the entire hospitality sector looked really bad. So luckily, I was put on the team which tried to ensure how can we build experiences to ensure that what restaurants are following safety measures, and how can we ensure that people start ordering food, because
And knows.
for some people they don't cook at home, right, and they do need the facility of these services. So yeah, it was a lot of hard
Correct.
work for the next 2 3 months. I'm sure you guys would have seen all those safety badges, max safety. We try to promote restaurants which use all safety measures, right? So we've shipped a lot of experiences, and maybe I'll share some of the things I'm most proud of. So you guys would have seen that Zomato rider with the superhero cape, right? During COVID.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something I
Correct,
had
correct.
done.
Ah,
Like
nice.
I wanted to sort of pay respect to the riders because they're the ones putting their lives on the line going
Life
out.
in risk.
And yeah, that's something I thought of we could do. So me and my PM quickly did it. It sort of we just thought, we should do it. It didn't feel wrong. And yeah, that sort of blew up on Twitter. We heard like celebrities like Ravina Tandon tweeting about it, or Madamo Marketing, Dolly Singh. Yeah, that was a very very cool moment for me. We shipped a lot of ways which you can tip riders now, right? So even rider tipping, a lot of people are tipping riders. So
Hmm.
we included their stories on the order tracking page to ensure that people, sort of ensure that they are going through a rough time, and this is the time we should support each other. So, a couple of these things you guys would have played Zomato Premier League every time during IPL. You guess an answer, and if you get your answer correct, you get money back. So, some of the things I worked on for Diwali and Navratri, and also I had a fantastic time at Zomato. Like I shipped a lot of cool things.
So you got out of college. You like with but also you got your first job in COVID,
Yep.
and you're working from home with a company which, I mean, I'll be very honest, Zomato already had a name in design, or at least in marketing design, though it was there.
Right.
Right. I would know them more than the food. I know that they'll do something
Right.
fun with the marketing, right?
Right.
Right. So when you got into that, how was your learning in that? Like, did you, like, for example, you started as a product designer, right?
Yeah.
But you worked on superhero ideas, right? Which would include visuals,
Yeah.
and also there would be some other ideas which you have explored. So what was that like?
So that was really cool. After that happened, like the marketing team reached out and I was working with the marketing team for 3 months. I was not doing product design. Like I was sort of
Okay.
helping them in creating creatives, animations. So a lot of old social media posts, I was a part of them. So I did. I told myself I want to try it, for a couple of months. I did try it, but it was a lot of fun, to be honest. There's some amazing, funny people there, but I feel like I wanted to sort of stick to UX itself. That's something which gave me even more joy. So that's what I did. But yeah, it taught me a lot about marketing as well, and how much thought and effort goes to creating one single post, which they do. So yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
So so the matter happened.
Yeah.
Now next for
So
after 2 years
yeah,
you
so
took a leap.
after 2 years, I feel like yeah, maybe I should, because I feel like I just started out. I want to explore maybe every other sector. I want to learn different things, right? So yeah, I thought it's time for me to move, and then yeah, I got an offer from Meesho, which is sort of in the e-commerce land, and also quite challenging because you design for tier three, tier four users. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a exciting, it's short one, sort of 8 9 months. But I learned. I learned so much of how do you even design for tier 3 or tier 4 users. Yeah.
Meesho is a very unique product. I'll
Yes.
tell you. Even, for example, now currently, like after their rebrand, they have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Right? The brand positioning has changed a lot,
Yeah.
which I've loved. Uh, the Indianness, the desiness. If you think,
Right.
like, if you remember, I'm not sure if you working on this or not, but the Meesho I remember as in a dropshipping business. And I
Yeah.
don't remember the shopping business.
Yeah.
And when it started, I remember that telling people that here you can make money now if you just send these links to your WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And if they order, you make some cash on it, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting concept because we had e-commerce, we had people buying stuff and
Right.
everything. But drop shipping, like this is not directly drop shipping, but
Hmm.
knowing that you can now make your own business from your WhatsApp group
Yeah.
was really interesting. And that's where I felt like even their marketing was targeting tier 3, tier 4,
Yeah.
like females in the households and everyone, right? It's really interesting. And now they've obviously changed a lot.
Yeah.
So did you work on those kind of products or were
Yeah.
designing the screens for that side of things?
Yeah, so I joined in a little later, so everything was already set up. They had moved out of the WhatsApp paradigm and sort of got into uh, building their app and
Shopping.
shopping
Correct.
experiences. So yeah, but like you said, it's mostly about these sellers, also encouraging these sellers like women who are in these tier 3, tier 4 cities. How can they build their own business as well? So actually, that's where I spent a lot of time in actually user research as well. Like I did a lot of user research with people from tier 3, tier 4 cities, and some very exciting, fun projects. Um, uh, for example, I can tell you a funny incident, right? So we were sort of trying to revamp ratings and reviews, right? So, and we all know, like we use Flipkart, Amazon for us 5 stars, meaning it's a good product, right? If you're happy with it and you give it.
Correct.
But we were seeing that people were giving 1 star ratings and they were writing excellent, right? And then we were like, okay, why? Like, why are you doing this? Like, you thought it's a very good product, you're writing excellent, you're giving 1 star. They're like, bhaiya, ek number ka product hai, right? The way people think is so
Oh,
different, right? I can't share what we sort of try to design because that's not come out yet. But yeah, it's really fun. You get different perspectives of how people think. Yeah,
so Meesho happened
yeah,
8 months.
yeah. So Meesho happened, and
What
then
now?
I learned a lot about this segment, and then I think I applied for Figma config on a very similar topic. So
Yeah, that I forgot.
yeah,
You did gave a talk also, I think, right? In Figma config.
yeah, that was crazy. So I sort of sent in my proposal for the talk, and luckily they accepted. Like they got back to me on my birthday, which was very nice gift. But yeah, then Figma config happened. I think after config, so I think Microsoft happened, and then that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
No, really interesting. So config, the topic was
How do you design for next billion users?
uh
Yeah.
yeah, I think I should also apply next time. But yeah, next time.
So I apply every year because they give free goodies. To be honest, I never expected.
Why did I don't know that trick that if you apply get
Yeah,
free
like I used to
goodies?
apply since
I will
college.
apply
They
this
used to
year.
send stickers or t-shirts. I was like, I want some free swag. I genuinely applied, hoping that I would get it, but yeah, that I would say even if it was like the worst case, I'd get free goodies. That's why I applied, and yeah, luckily they liked my proposal, so it worked out.
So I mean, we know now your whole journey of how, like, till now we have reached there, right? Like, we have seen few years of your journey. But while you're doing these, did the thought of doing freelance ever come to you? Did you do freelance
Uh,
or not?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but I don't know if freelance is for me. I I didn't want to do too much of context switching. I wanted to sort of take one area, maybe go a little bit in depth, try to understand the ins and outs of it. For example, food tech, e-commerce is a good handle. I feel like maybe there's another place I need to sort of go deep into. So it never really struck me, to be honest. But maybe at some point I'll try. But
Cool. So this is how your journey went.
yeah.
In this direction, do you think, like, if I ask you this question, right? What will be the advice for new designers? What are the advice for people who want to get into design or to become designer, right?
Yeah.
Is there any framework which you think would work for them? Anything they can try and experiment on it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a particular framework, but I can share maybe what helped me. I feel like just putting yourself out there is generally the good norm. Like putting yourself out there as in sharing your work with other people, getting feedback, ensuring you're constantly improving. Right? Just trying to put in the work, I would say, to be honest. I guess get feedback that doesn't have to be any sort of agenda around it. Trying to get a job first, improve. Just try to keep getting better, keep getting feedback, and try to put your work out there. I know it's very scary. Even when I started putting my work out there on Behance, I know how bad it was. But I was like, okay, you know what? This is me, and I'll probably will get better with time. And that's what generally helped me. And I was very open to that sort of feedback. So yeah, I think that's
But
genuinely what helped me.
do start, do get out and do
Yeah,
start on
don't
this
be
and
afraid to share your
see.
work, and people might say something, and it's fine. It's only for you to get better.
Thank you, Rahul. Thanks, Rahul, so much for coming. This is really interesting for me to learn, and I hope someone, like many people who are watching, also learn from this. Before we go, I would love to just ask everyone to subscribe, and yeah, I will keep bringing these videos again every Monday. We do this. Thank you so much for watching this.